Every 4 years, it's the same names on the trophy: France, Argentina, Spain, England. And the bookmakers agree. France lead the title odds at plus 360. Argentina just behind. Spain and England a notch further back. These are your 2026 favorites. But this is the biggest World Cup in history. 48 teams, a knockout bracket, blown wide open. France and Argentina are still favored to reach the final. England close behind. Yet across this many games, chaos is almost guaranteed. So, can a dark horse actually win the whole thing? 4 teams have a genuine shot at shocking the world. Norway, with the most feared striker on the planet. Mexico, riding a wave of home support. Colombia, maybe the most talented of the lot. And the co-hosts, the United States. Let's break down every single contender. But before we crown anybody, a reality check. Has a true outsider ever actually pulled this off? Because the modern World Cup has been brutal on dreamers. Every winner since 2006 has come from the usual shortlist of giants. The romance almost never survives. Almost. Take 2018. Croatia, a nation of under 4 million people, smaller than most major cities, dragged themselves through 3 straight knockout battles, 3 extra time wars, all the way to the final. It was the run of a generation, built on nothing but sheer will. Then 2022. Morocco did what no African or Arab nation had ever done. They knocked out Belgium, then Spain, then Portugal. 3 European heavyweights, one after another, and marched into the semifinals with an entire continent roaring behind them. And yet, both of those fairy tales ended the same way. Croatia lost the final, Morocco fell in the semis, and the trophy went to a giant both times. France in 2018, Argentina in 2022. The lesson is brutal. To actually win this thing, a dark horse needs a near-flawless run. So let's start with the team that scares the analysts the most: Norway. For a generation, they were football's great what-if. All that talent, never qualifying for the big one. Now they are back at a World Cup for the first time since 1998, and they did not come to make up the numbers. And they didn't squeak through either. Norway battered their qualifying group. 37 goals in just 8 matches. That is nearly 5 every single game. No team on earth attacked with that kind of relentless, ruthless firepower on the road to 2026. In the group stage, they kept right on rolling. They dismantled Iraq, 4-1. Then Holland's brace sank Senegal, 3-2. By the final match day, they were already through, so comfortable they rested Holland against France, and still walked into the knockouts unbeaten. And this is not a one-man team. Yes, Erling Haaland already has 4 goals here, one of the deadliest strikers the game has ever produced. But around him, Alexander Sørloth and the young winger Antonio Nusa can punish anyone. Norway have the highest ceiling in the entire field. Up next, Ivory Coast in the round of 32. Dangerous, but beatable. The trouble is what comes after. Win, and Norway most likely runs straight into Brazil in the round of 16. But topple the Seleção, and a team that's been gone for nearly 30 years is suddenly in the quarterfinals. That's how fast this can turn. Now to the co-hosts. Mexico came into this tournament under enormous pressure and quietly became the story of the group stage. For the first time in their entire World Cup history, they won all 3 group games. No drama, no last-minute scares, just calm, total control. Look at the run. South Africa, beaten 2-0. South Korea, 1-0. Czechia, swept aside 3-0. 6 goals scored, not a single one conceded, and a perfect 9 points from 9. Defensively, Mexico have looked as solid as anyone in the whole competition. And here's the part that the favorites are dreading. The draw sends Mexico home, back to Mexico City, back to the Azteca. Over 80,000 fans, thin high-altitude air, and the most intimidating atmosphere in the sport. Visiting teams have actual nightmares about that place. So put it all together: a rock-solid defense, total belief, and a wall of home noise behind them. That is exactly the recipe a deep dark horse run is built on. Mexico won't out-talent the Giants, but on home soil, they just might outfight them. But here's the twist the bracket is hiding. Norway and Mexico are on a collision course. But first, each has a giant to slay in the round of 16. For Norway, most likely Brazil. For Mexico, most likely England. Pull off both shocks and they still don't escape. They smash straight into each other. Norway versus Mexico in the quarterfinals. The tournament's 2 hottest dark horses, each having just toppled a heavyweight, now forced to knock the other one out, a single step from the semifinals. One of these dream runs ends right there. One goes deeper. One goes home. Now to maybe the most gifted dark horse of them all, Colombia. They came through Group K unbeaten, beating Uzbekistan 3-1, edging out DR Congo, and most impressively of all, holding Portugal, a genuine title contender, to a goalless draw. This is a serious, serious team. And the names jump right off the page. Luis Diaz, one of the best wingers on the planet, absolutely tearing it up. James Rodriguez, the old maestro, still pulling every string in midfield. And remember, this same core pushed Argentina to the brink in the Copa America final just 2 years ago. So what on earth is stopping them? The draw, eventually. Ghana are next in the round of 32, winnable. Then, most likely Switzerland or Algeria in the round of 16, again, very beatable. Colombia's real nightmare doesn't arrive until the quarterfinals. Because that is where Argentina are lurking, the reigning world champions, parked in Colombia's quarterfinal. So Colombia have arguably the most pure talent of any dark horse here, and a genuine path to the last 8. But to go a single step further, they'd have to dethrone the champions of the world. Which brings us home, to the host, the United States. Under Mauricio Pochettino, a genuinely world-class coach, this young team has grown up fast. They topped Group D and capped it with a real statement, a 4-1 demolition of Paraguay that turned heads right across the world. And the talent here is real. Christian Pulisic is in the form of his life, a true difference maker on the biggest stage. Behind him, Tyler Adams anchors the midfield while Weston McKennie drives it forward. Add a whole nation packing out the stadiums, and this is a dangerous, dangerous host. And the road ahead is navigable too. They should handle Bosnia in the round of 32, but then it gets real. A Belgium or a Senegal most likely waits in the round of 16. Win that one, and the United States are into a home quarterfinal, with an entire country at their backs. And never ever underestimate home advantage at a World Cup. Just ask South Korea, who rode a deafening wall of noise all the way to the semifinals back in 2002. The crowds, the familiarity, the sheer energy, it's worth real goals. The only question for this USA side is the ceiling. And whatever you do, don't forget the team that has already done exactly this, Morocco. Semi-finalists in 2022, and barely slowed down since, fresh off a run to the Africa Cup of Nations final. Their reward is a brutal opener against the Netherlands, but this is the most battle-tested outsider in the entire draw. And their identity is ruthless, rock solid, disciplined defending, then lightning quick counterattacks the moment you overcommit. And crucially, they have zero fear of giants, because they have already beaten them on this exact stage. On current form, Morocco might be the single most dangerous dark horse left. But here's the mountain that every one of these teams has to climb. To actually lift this trophy, a dark horse doesn't just shock one giant. They have to do it again and again, beating 3, sometimes 4 elite nations back to back to back, with absolutely no margin for error. 7 knockout games, 0 second chances, against the best, deepest, most expensive squads on the entire planet, every single round. 1 off day, 1 red card, 1 unlucky bounce, and the dream is over. That, right there, is why a true dark horse almost never gets it done. So after all of that, who is actually best placed to shock the world? Let's rank them. Norway have the highest ceiling, powered by Haaland, and the scariest attack in the entire draw. Morocco have the pedigree and the form, having already gone the full distance once before. Mexico and the United States both carry that priceless host edge, the crowds, the comfort, the belief, and Colombia, pure quality, top to bottom, undone only by the single toughest road in the whole bracket. Every one of them, in their own way, has a real and genuine case. But here's the honest truth, not one of them is the favorite. The Giants still sit above them all, and yet every single one of these 5 has a live, plausible path to the semifinals. And once you are there, in a one-off knockout match, anything is possible. That is all you need to dream. The favorites will tell you the trophy is already spoken for. France, Argentina, Spain, the natural order restored, but the bracket is set, the upsets have already begun, and history keeps reminding us, it only takes one magic night, one perfect performance to change absolutely everything. So now it's over to you. Out of Norway, Mexico, Colombia, the USA, and Morocco, who is your dark horse to go all the way in 2026? Drop your pick down in the comments and let's see who calls it. I'll see you in the next one.